Hello everybody and welcome to the KD Adventures, where we make theme park and adventure videos every single week. If you enjoy watching this video, make sure to let us know by hitting that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you're feeling extra cheeky, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram, just search for the KD Adventures. Right then, so welcome to this week's video. Now, we may only be in August, it may only be the summer, but across the world, theme parks are currently planning, preparing, and announcing for one of my favourite times of the year at the theme parks, Halloween. Now, we talk a lot about Disney and Universal here on the channel, and plans are very much underway at all their parks. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando have announced 5 of their scare mazes, including The Haunting of Hill House, Beetlejuice, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Bride of Frankenstein, and Halloween Horror Nights icons, all of which look incredible. Over at Disney World, there is a brand new event this year, which has already begun, called After Hours Boo Bash, which means Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has come to an end. But this new event, it still does look fun. Now, I'll probably cover these Halloween events in a future video in a bit more detail, but in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the events that are happening a bit more closer to home. Because in today's video, I'm going to be going over what to expect this spooky season at the UK parks. Last year in 2020, we were lucky to have Halloween events here in the UK. The country had been in lockdown for most of the year, and for months theme parks weren't even open. So the fact that these events even went ahead was amazing. Having said that though, last year at the parks there were a few restrictions that did make these Halloween events just a little less scary than they were previously. And on top of that, I didn't personally feel too comfortable going to all these Halloween events where you get up close and personal with the different scare actors, just because at the time there wasn't a vaccine or anything. So for me personally, I just didn't enjoy going as much to the parks just because I didn't feel as comfortable. But things are looking a little different this year. Here in the UK, all the restrictions have now been lifted. Of course, it all depends on personal policies like mask wearing, but overall the restrictions have been lifted, so hopefully this year we'll be seeing a restriction-free Halloween. Now, first of all, let's talk about one of my favourite parks and one of my favourite events here in the UK, Scarefest at Alton Towers. The thing with UK scare events is that they like to keep some of the mazes returning year after year. Alton Towers is a big one for this. So although we haven't yet heard any announcements in regards to what mazes we will see, I won't be surprised if we saw the return of the Attic Terror of the Towers, an excellent scare maze situated in the towers themselves, Darkest Depths, a more family fun scare maze featuring ghost pirates and the Kraken, and also the new for last year's outdoor scare maze, Toxic Junkyard, which was a thing of nightmares, being chased by evil clowns. I can imagine all 3 of these mazes will return along with the Altonville Mine Tours, which would be another reoccurring maze. If there was to be a new scare maze, there would probably just be the one at most. Hopefully we'll also see the return of the Whispering Souls Garden walkthrough, which was a great addition to last year in my opinion. The trail through the gardens was lit up with spooky lighting and audio, and it had a really good atmosphere at night, so it would be great to see this return this year too. Hello, future Kieran here. Now, at the time of recording this video, Alton Towers had not announced anything to do with Scarefest, but literally the day after I finished recording, they decided to announce every maze that's going to be at the event this year, which is great. So I thought I'd do this little add-on to the video just to let you know the updates. So they're going to be bringing back all the mazes that were at last year's event. So that includes the Altonville Mine Tours, the Attic Terror of the Towers, Toxic Junkyard and Darkest Depths. So all 4 of those are going to be returning in this year, and there's going to be no new mazes this year. Which is unfortunate, but all those 4 mazes are still really good and really scary, so it's not all that bad. Although there's not going to be any new mazes this year at Scarefest, there is going to be a brand new interactive walkthrough experience this year called Trick or Treat Town. Now, I don't know too much information about this yet because it is brand new to this year's Scarefest, but all I know is it will be an interactive walkthrough for ages 8+, so it'll be fun for the whole family. If you want to find out more information about Scarefest or the new updates and where you can purchase tickets, then head on over to the Alton Towers website. But yeah, let's get back on into the main video. Overall, I am very excited to see what Alton Towers bring this year with Scarefest, and when more is announced, I'll be sure to share it here on the channel and keep you all updated. At Scarefest, it takes place on the 8th to 10th of October and then resumes again on the 15th to the 31st of October. Also, on top of that, if you've never been to Scarefest before at Alton Towers, all the Scare Maze tickets, they are separate from your admission ticket, so just keep that in mind before booking. Right then, so let's move on and talk about another one of the biggest Halloween events here in the UK, Thorpe Park Fright Nights. Honestly, Fright Nights is one of the only times you'll see something new at this park. I love the coasters, but we need to start seeing some fresh and exciting changes at Thorpe Park. But every year for the past 2 decades, Thorpe Park have been giving us Fright Nights, which is another great Halloween event. Taking place on the same days as Scarefest, Fright Nights will be bringing you some of the best scare mazes in the country. We don't yet know what mazes we will see return or be introduced. I didn't personally visit the event last year due to the distance and it being in the middle of the pandemic, but I heard the event was good but different from the previous years. There were only 2 mazes, which were mainly outdoors, but there was an increase in scare zones across the park, which is really good because it shows what the park has really tried their best to put on the best event possible under the circumstances. Now that restrictions have eased, we will more than likely see the return of some of the older mazes or see some brand new mazes appear at the event. We may see the return of Platform 15 and Roots of Evil, which were the 2 scare mazes that we saw last year. I think Thorpe Park introducing more scare zones was a great step forward, and I think it's something that Alton Towers need to introduce too. Scare zones really add the atmosphere to these Halloween events, and it puts you on edge wherever you are in the park. Now hopefully Thorpe Park keep all these scare zones in 2021, but we will just have to see. But either way, it is looking like we're going to be seeing the return of more of the scare mazes at this year's Fright Nights. Now let's move on to another event here in the UK. I haven't ever personally been to this Halloween event, but it is at one of my favourite parks here in the UK. It is Halloween at Chessington World of Adventures. Unlike Scarefest and Fright Nights, Chessington's Halloween is a more family-friendly event. Running from the 16th to the 31st of October, you can experience the scare attraction Creepy Caves Resurgence, which is a scare maze where you venture deep into the dark caverns to see what lies beneath. I think with Chessington, it's more about those family-friendly attractions, just like the rest of the park is all year round. There looks to be more activities for kids at Chessington, and of course, just like the other parks, you can experience their attractions in the dark too. I feel like Halloween is all down to personal preference. I mean, if you're going with your family and you just want a nice chilled out Halloween event, then Halloween is going to be a perfect event for you. But if you want to go for the scares, you want to be chased by clowns, and you want to pee your pants, then go to one of the other ones because that's probably more right for you. And talking of family events, now let's move on over to Legoland Windsor, where they have their Halloween event, Brick or Treat. Now this event is by far the tamest of them all. Aimed at the little monsters, this one is about family-friendly experiences. For example, they have the Haunted House Monster Party Ride, costume competitions and a pumpkin trail. But new for this year, they also have a harbour show. So it's looking like there's going to be plenty of fun family-friendly activities at Legoland Windsor this Halloween, so make sure to check it out. And Brick or Treat, it runs from the 14th to the 31st of October. So now we've covered all of the Merlin parks, let's move out of Merlin and let's talk about another one of the biggest parks here in the UK, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Journey to Hell Freak Nights are returning to Blackpool Pleasure Beach this year, and unlike Chessington and Legoland, this is more aimed at adults. It's 13 plus and adults must accompany under 16s. Journey to Hell Freak Nights is a scare zone and action-based experience featuring live actors. It'll include one roller coaster, however no other rides will be open. Also, the Circus of Horrors will be returning this year and will be celebrating 25 years with an all-new show. The Circus of Horrors will be a rock show featuring crazy circus acts. Annually, this show plays over 100 theatres and appears at festivals around the world. It's one of the best out there, so if you can, try and check it out. Now, I don't know too many details about this event at Blackpool Pleasure Beach because I've never personally been to this event myself, but from what I've heard from previous years, it is really, really good. It's a really good event and it's really, really scary too. I mean, you have all the scare actors, you have the mazes, and even at times you're kidnapped and made to wear a blackout hood. So yeah, it sounds very scary indeed. Now finally, let's move on to one of my personal favourite Halloween events here in the UK, Extreme Scream Park. This event has been voted the best scare festival in the UK, and I can see why. It's definitely aimed at adults and can be extremely terrifying. You have scare zones and street theatre throughout the park, as well as some super scary scare mazes. I've been going to Extreme Scream for a few years now, and something that I will say is that some of the mazes return with very minimal changes each year. For example, you have the Village, the Pie Factory, Hoodoo Voodoo, and one called Ash Hell Penitentiary. They return pretty much every year with very minimal changes, so I will say that. But new for this year, there is a brand new maze which is really good, and it's called Ashes to Earth, and it sounds very interesting. The description reads, Mother Earth will decide her ongoing shape and form, embrace her power, honour her beauty and all that she provides. The toxicity evolves, we are more than what we once were. Inhale the fumes, drink from the contaminated cesspool, taste the decomposing flesh in your tongue. You mutate, you adapt, you become one with the earth. We must obey Mother. You will return to the earth. So yeah, it sounds pretty interesting and I'm excited to see what it all means. I'm glad that they're introducing something new and hopefully I'll be able to return back this year and check it all out. So there we have it, that is it for this video. Now there are plenty of Halloween events across the UK that I may have not mentioned in this video. So if I have missed one out, which is your favourite, then let me know down in the comments below because I would love to check it out. As I said at the start of the video, Halloween is one of my favourite times at the theme parks out of the whole year, so I cannot wait for the spooky season to begin again. And when it does come to October, we'll be bringing you vlogs from the different events as well, so make sure to stay tuned for all those. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.